Got to let the old blonde girl know what's happening. Okay, so I'm using this side because this side is too messy. I've measured up here with my scale ruler to 1200, and then I'm just going to take that and bring it across and mark it on that side. So I'm just transferring that height over to here. Just makes life a little bit easier and clearer. And then I'm going to, from that point back to my vanishing point, I'm just going to draw a line going down here. And then the height of this, which is the bed head, I'm just going to bring it up and then bring that one up until it gets to that height. And then that becomes where my bed head's going to be. All right. There's my bed head drawing up to there. That's not a very straight line, Anne. There we go. So there's my bed head. Now we can do one of two things. If you want to put a thickness on the bed head, you can work out how thick you want it to be. I normally, when I'm working out a thickness and I'm having to guess it rather than measure it, because I'm not measuring, I can't measure anything out on these walls because you can't use a ruler in these areas. I can only use a ruler here. So I'm just going to use my sense of proportion and say I'm just going to make it come out to about that far. Just so we've got a bit of a thickness there, and we can make it timber or we can make it fabric. And just bring it down. So I've got, that's the edge of it, and then I'll follow it back to the vanishing point. Oh, in the right thing. And then I'll just make that thickness come out. So basically, really what you're doing all the time is you're drawing little rectangles. And that's going to be the thickness of my bed head. Okay. And what I will do is I will get rid of that little line there and this little line here. And that line there. So it looks like it's just one thickness. Okay. So there's my bed head. Above my bed head, I'm going to put a picture, and I'm just going to use this height here and this height here to do a picture that is going to be landscape above my bed head. So again, I'll just bring those two heights along the wall. 1 and then 2. And then I'm going to put a picture in here. So it looks kind of a bit squished, the picture, but you know, it is actually 1.50 meters wide, but it's just because it's in perspective. So that'll be my picture, and you can put any picture you like in there, any picture at all. You just make up a sort of something really cool, you know. There's a nice picture, nice modern something or other. You can draw something in there. Okay, now I want to put some pillows on my bed, but I want to put my pillows at an angle, not so they're going straight up, because pillows don't normally sit, you know, exactly, it sort of looks a bit better. So I'll find the center or the halfway point, and I think that there's the halfway point. I'm just going to, again, guess that, find the halfway point on the front part of my bed head, follow it back across so it goes all the way across my bed head, all the way across here. And then I'm going to work out from that point, or even from this point, an angle at which I would like the pillow to be at. And I can do that freehand. So I sort of want the pillows to be at an angle like that. And that line will then go down and hit the side of the bed. It means that I can then, once it hits the top side of the bed, I can follow it back across the whole bed, and I end up with something that looks like that. So can you see that at an angle there? I'll get rid of the stuff behind it. So then, because what I'm doing is I'm just giving myself some guidelines so I can draw the full pillow. So at the moment, all I've got is something that looks like that. And then I can, you know, find the center of it, which is from there to there somewhere. And then I want to do some fluffy pillows. So I'm going to just curve a bit of fluffiness out like that way. And I'm going to do the same here. But so see how I've done that curve that looks like that? Sorry, it looks like that. I'm going to do the same on this side, except for I'm going to do it towards the back. So I'll do a curve around the back like that. And the reason why you do that is so the pillows look puffy and real. And there's one pillow, and there's the second pillow. And then you can sort of start to fiddle around with it so it looks more pillow-like. And there's my second pillow, like that. Just so that they end up leaning against. So I'll just do this on a separate piece of paper so you can see what I did. I ended up with a line that went like that. That's where my bed was. That's where my bed head. That's my bed head. That's the top of the bed. I drew a line like that. I followed it back. I drew another line over the other side of where the bed is. And I drew that first. There's the bed head. Sorry, it's not a very good drawing of the bed head, but anyway, somewhere there. That's the bed head. So I did that first. So I've got this kind of thing happening. Then I sort of work out where the center of that is. I can either draw a line across here if I want to find the center of where the two pillows are. But then what I did do after that is from this line here at the back, you sort of draw a sort of like an oval. So you get this sort of puffiness happening on this side. And then on this side, not so much at the back, but you bring this around until you can actually then make those two join up like that. And that sort of gives you the two pillows. And this one will have a puffiness as well. So then you end up and you've got something that looks like two pillows, and then you get rid of the edges that you don't meet, because you don't actually see the edge of a pillow. Well, you sort of do, but this won't be a straight line. It'll sort of be more like that, because that's where, you know, how it folds in underneath, and sometimes there's stitching down there. You don't have to put stitching there, but you're just trying to create something that's going to look like a pillow. Now, I'm terrible at drawing pillows. I just have to let you know. So I'll fiddle around with them until I get them to look a bit more like what I want them to look like. And so they look a bit more like a pillow and not like something dreadful. Ta-da! Dreadful pillows. So there are my pillows. I'll do the same onto this when I get round to doing it later. Just do that across there a little bit. So I've got a picture, I've got my pillows, I've got this, and then I'd like to draw a couple of, again, you can draw a round light, or you can bring a light down from the ceiling, although that's more difficult to draw, or you can draw a square something here. That can be your light, one of those square lights with another bit on top of it. And that can be done sort of freehand. And then whatever you draw here, you'll transfer that using your vanishing point back to transfer it onto the other one. So you've got the same sort of heights. Just let me, that's where it is, about there. And about there. And that's where the other one is on the other side. Won't see very much of it down the side there, just a little bit and a little bit like that. So I've got 2 lights. They're timber down here and they're a light above there. It's making mine really simple. Oh. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? I'm so sorry. Okay, so then you end up with something like that. Then you can work out whether you're going to have a rug around the bed, and if so, then use the existing, I'm guessing this, I'm going to bring the rug out to there, and I'm going to make it come out to about here, sort of halfway through there, very lightly, and then I'll make it, I should do something like that on the other side. So that's where my rug's going to be on the ground. So I've just sort of guessed that, but I've used my vanishing point to do it. And I'm going to do sort of squiggly lines here. And then occasionally get rid of the straight line so that, oh, it's got a bit thing, so that I get, so I sort of get these squiggly dashes, because you don't want to have really straight lines on a carpet. You just want to see where the carpet is. Now, if you want to do something on the outside so that you can pretend that there's a balcony, or in this case, it's got some bushes outside or something, you can. I'm just.
Annalise, can you upset Alice share to the thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, darlings. I thought you could get straight back in, but you came off completely. Thank you.
No, Alicia is having problems with her computer, so it's dropping off and off.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Just keep reminding me if that happens. All right, that'll be good. Okay, so I'm just going to say that my balcony goes out this far, and I'm just guessing these things at the moment, and that's where it comes along here on the outside. So that's my balcony out there, and I might, in this case, there's a tree that goes in here, so I'm just going to do a tree-like thing. Move like that. And there's another tree down the side here somewhere as well, I think, on the outside. So again, just a tree-shaped thing. Don't try and draw a complete tree, because sometimes it doesn't work like that. So I've got a couple of trees there, and in here is where I'm going to have some around the tree and up over the tree. I will have some lovely, again, I'm using a sort of a squiggly dashed line, or you can do something like this, just in front of the tree. So you've got a couple of bushes there. Now in the drawing it has table and chairs. You don't have to do the table and chairs, all right? Just do the trees outside and this, and we'll turn this all into a lovely bit of timber that comes down or across, or we'll just leave it for the time being. But you should have something that looks like this at the end. Now, it looks all a bit grubby and dirty because the pencil I'm using is very, very dark. So I may need to do a final piece of trace paper over the top to trace off just the things I want to see and I want to keep. So I will do that.
But then, Annalise, all these extra dots, we can do them without the grid on the back, right?
Yeah, you can, or you can. I just had that down so you could see what I was doing.
Oh, that looks, that effect was awesome when you took the paper out.
Okay, so I've still got the grid there, so you can use the grid to help you draw the other things in.
Yeah.
I just for my sake, so I wasn't confusing you all too much,
No, it's okay.
I'm just doing that, and I was using my, sense of proportions. I'll take that away. So now that I've done that, I'll put the magic piece of paper back in.
Yeah.
And then I shall pop this over the top. This is a clean sheet. Okay. And I'm just going to trace off what I need. I'll just do that in the center a bit, or I'll see if I can do this so it ends up being, it'll have to be that big. All right. So it might have to be A3 unless we make it smaller. And then I just need to trace off, and you can do it freehand because it's sort of, then it looks like you're a legend and that you've been able to do all of this freehand. And that one goes around there. That's my lamp. Oh, I drew something in that I didn't need to draw in. So there's my lamp. Now, to make the bed look like it's softer, when I start to trace the rest of the bed in, I'm going to soften that corner. Okay? Just soften it. And then I'll soften this corner here too. I'll make it curved so it goes down to the ground. I'm not going to trace that line there. The reason being is that it'll make it look too square, and I want the edges of my bed to be a bit softer, so I won't trace that line. And what he did is he does a few of these things randomly along here. And what that does is it's going to create, if you go to every second pair, it's going to create, and then the inside ones will do that. That will then create what looks like bedding falling over the top. See that?
Yeah.
So that gives you a really cool look. And then the rest of this I'm just going to do, I'm not going to put very much detail on this because you won't see it. I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to do that. And again, I'm tracing it off freehand because it'll make the drawing look softer as well. So I've got that one going in there, and I've just got to draw this little table in here, and that one across there, and that one across there. And then I've got my other light shade, which goes across here. Oh, not doing very straight lines, I'm afraid, everybody. Never mind. It's because I can't turn my paper around. Let's just do that one again. And let's do that. And let's do that. So that's that one. That's that one. My picture is going to go here. Let's try and draw some straight lines. It's really good practice. I might have to turn sideways, I think. There's one. There's two. We're not going to put a lot of detail on the windows at this point in time. We're just going to pretend that they're obviously windows or sliding doors. Oh, that one went a bit funny. Oh, dreadful, Annalise. And then I'm going to do that and that and that. I need that bit. I will need that bit. And then that bit, and then that bit, and then that bit. Have I got everything? Oh, I've got the rest of my pillows. All right, and that one. There we go. Now, I might want to make it look like that it's got a fold over here. And if I do that, I'm just going to make it come off off the original line a little bit, so it looks like it's sitting above. And if I decided that I wanted to have a throw over this end of the bed, I'll just work out where the lines are going to start from. I'll make the throw about that deep. And again, I'll bring it up further than this line here and make it come down like that, so that it comes over here and then it can come down and follow that, actually, if you really wanted to. I might just do that out to there so that it follows that line. So if you bring it up a little bit, then it looks like it's sitting on top, and then the rest of this is going to be just plain and soft. So that's that one. Whoops. Oh, I've still got that one showing. So we'll get rid of that line there. And that line. And then I need to do those lines. And then that one across there. And then that one across there. And then I will do tree. Well, that's a bush. Nice. That's just a whole bunch of squiggly lines, guys. That's all that is. And voila, you have something that looks like a bush, and occasionally if you do this on it, it looks like there's little leaves sticking out. It's just really cute and a bit of fun. And then I've got my tree. So that's tree. Because I've already drawn the tree in a stick form, I can then draw it out like that. Bring it in, bring that one in and out and in and out and that way. And again, you can do this. So that you can see part of the canopy underneath and over the top, like that. And do the same with this little tree, or you can make it a smaller tree. I might make it a smaller tree. And again, with the squiggly, you won't see all of that. I'll do that. Hey. Oh, little tree. There we go. And occasionally I'll see into the branches like that. So that becomes, and then that's going to be the edge of the cement or the timber, depending on what we want to put on out the back there. And also in this drawing there is curtains, which he sort of does from the ceiling, and he brings them across and just sort of gathers them up on something, which you can do, and then just does this. Now, you don't have to put curtains in if you don't want to, but it's worthwhile having a bit of a draw of a curtain, because they sort of all gather up. We'll make them sheer anyway. So there's our curtain. Now, if I take that out and I put that in, then we've got something that looks like this, okay? Oh, except for I don't have a line there. And then that's when we can photocopy it or take a picture of it and then reprint it out. We can make it smaller so it fits better onto an A4 sheet, because we can just, you know, scale it down. Sometimes it's better to draw it bigger so you can get more detail into it, and then you can make it smaller. All right. So although for the first couple of things that I did, like the side tables where the bed was going to sit, where the windows were, I was really, really precise with those things and with the height of those things. But then once you've got all of that down, you can, because you've got the dimensioning right, but how big things look, you can start to put in these things like the lights on the side table. You know, you can put 2 sets of pillows if you want to, and then you can do this, which is always a nice thing to do if, you know, so that you've got this really nice kind of thingy effect. But don't bring it up till it hits the line, because it'll make it look too square. Make sure it finishes before where that line was before we left it out. But see how if you do leave that line out in the original bed, you soften that curve there and you soften that curve there, you actually get something that looks like it's a nice soft bed, which is always nice because you don't want it to look like I'm just going to put in another one of those. That's better. I'll do that. And I'll do that. So I've got, it sort of flutes out a little bit. Nice idea. That's going to flute out a little bit too. There we go. So that's how you do the blue one, and then photocopy it or take a photo. It's probably better if you take a photo of it with some white paper underneath it, and then you can then open the picture in PowerPoint, and you can get, make it look just so there's line work, and it'll bring it down and make it smaller so it fits onto an A4, which is the word I'm looking for, A4 sheet of paper. Sorry, I'm being attacked by a tiny little fly. And then you can render it. Are we all okay? Or you're all looking like you just want to go, oh, look at the faces. Oh, the faces. Oh.
I have a question. Sorry, Annalise, can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So once you mentioned about the height, how we get the height for the bed and the bed size. Can you just repeat that piece a little bit once again? Sorry, quickly.
Yes, I can quickly.
Yeah, to get. Thank you.
I'll just do it. I'll get a new sheet of things. So once you draw, I don't know if you can see that. Once you draw that on the ground, can you see this? That on the ground, right? The height I got by coming to the back here. So if I'll just get rid of that. That's going to be annoying. Stop it. Stop it. Not you guys. You guys have been very patient. Thank you so much. I know this is really difficult. I know it's hard to learn online.
I'm honestly finding it much easier because I can do things while you do it. Whether that I discuss.
I'm going to try and set this back up. Although we're going to be going on to do SketchUp later on, but I can one class I can do this. But I'm going to bring this whole rig down with me, so I bring it into the classroom with me, so that people can actually see what I'm doing. Because although you can get people around a desk, you can't really see properly, and we're not allowed to stand close to each other anymore, even though we're a really friendly bunch. So I'm just sort of working out the logistics of that becomes the problem. Okay, I'm just going to stick this down.
So I really thank you. I think you're doing awesome. At least for this sort of learning, which is more practical, I'm finding it much better than we're doing it at class.
Because it's hard to sort of get to see it, isn't it? Yeah. Then I'm glad I'm going over this, because next week we'll do 2-point perspective. I'm not going to go on to 2-point because you'll all just die on me, I think. You're all looking a bit weary as it is. I'm so sorry, but there you go. I will just draw the bed on the floor again. So remember we drew the bed on the ground? Yes?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Now, to get the height of the bed, we said it was going to be 500. We know that the grid on this wall here is 500 by 500, yes?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because the bed sits up against this wall here, what you do is you find your first 500 on the back wall, bring it over to the very edge, right? Yep. So you're right on this line here. Go to your vanishing point, so between here and your vanishing point, and then you're going to draw a line down like that. So that's 500 coming all the way down the wall, this wall here. Okay. Then to get the height of the bed, so we know this is 500 all the way along this wall. To get the height for the bed, we then draw straight up, okay? So it's vertical at 90 degrees, 90 degrees up until it hits that line there. Yes?
Yeah. So like
And
with a T-square straight line, we need
yeah,
a
T-squared a straight line. At
Okay.
the moment what I'm doing, see how I'm lining the edge of this ruler up with the grid on the back wall?
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So you can do that if you want to, if you don't have a T-square. All right,
Okay.
that does help. And then up there. So then I've got, this is the height. This is the back of the bed now, before we put
Yeah.
on the, right. So once you've got those two, then you're going to bring both of those, where they intersect, you'll bring them both out into your perspective, because that then is right over the top of that line. I'll do the back one as well. Again, I'm using my ruler by lining it up with this, with the already straight lines. So see how I've drawn that line across there? More so, you'll see this line here. That's the 500 off the ground. And then if I go to the bottom, at the front here of where this square was originally, and I draw a line going vertically straight up like that, when it intersects with this line here, which I drew out here, which is almost in line with the downside of the bed, I can put my ruler on that intersection point and draw it back, put the ruler back to the vanishing point and draw a line until it intersects with this line out here. So then what you end up with is that. So that's how you get the height of the bed.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So whatever height you want something to be, you can measure it on the back wall, because you know you can use your scale ruler over these squares here. Okay, because that's the only thing we use the scale ruler to draw. Anything outside of that is not to scale. Okay. If I want, and then when we did the bed head, we went back to the back wall, except for I did it over this side and transferred the height over here because it was all a bit too messy there, and you can do that too. So I came across here, measured up 1200, then drew a straight horizontal line across to this side so I could, find my 1200 on this corner of the two walls, and then I drew a line from there going down here, and then I could do again going straight up, and then I created my bed head. Okay, so you can't actually measure in any of this area here. You go by knowing that this perspective grid is 500 by 500, and the same here. If you wanted to, you could draw all those lines up and all those lines coming down, but I think it become a bit too messy after a while. So I tend to only draw down here when I want a height for what I need to draw on either this wall or this wall. All right, how are we going?
Yeah, oh, good, thank you.
Look at all you guys down with your heads down, pens up. Just wonderful.
When you draw the throw over the bed,
Yes.
we use the BP point as well?
Yeah, we do. I'll just go over that really quickly too on this one here. I'll just put a piece of normal paper here. Okay. Oh, yep, I can see my vanishing points up there. I'll just draw it in again. First of all, you're going to soften those edges. So I get rid of that because that's just really annoying. And I draw way too hard, which is annoying too. I'll soften these two edges, those two corners, by just making that rounded. And just making that a bit rounded too, rather than it being square. You then get rid of this line here, okay? Because you don't want to see that. You will render the side of the bed so it looks like it's got an edge to it. You can still see that line. I don't like it when you can see the line. Oh, look what this is doing. This is not what I wanted to do. It's not meant to do that. It's putting all nastiness all across my... It's lying to me. Okay, so what I did was I went, okay, I go back to my vanishing point and I'm going to put my throw between this point here and this point here on the bed. So I just give myself a couple of points so I can just very gently move that out. So this is what I start with. Okay. Then I'm going to extend these out a little bit and make it come up just a tiny weeny bit. So it looks like it's actually, you know, on top of the bed rather than being inlaid into the bed. And then I'll just soften that curve there, and you just soften that curve there and do your things that you're going to do. And then you've got it, and then I sort of go along here and do a couple of wiggly lines to make it look like it's scrunched up, or you can make it just smooth, whatever you want to do. Is that okay? Did you get that?
Yes, thank you.
That's all right. Going well, everybody. Thank you for hanging in there. Okay, so until you guys can work out, or maybe I can send you mine and you can render mine if you can't do it. Who doesn't have a printer at home and who doesn't have a scanner or a printer? Do you all have scanners and printers?
I have one, but sometimes it doesn't work.
Okay.
I have a scanner, but
it doesn't come out properly.
Oh, that's all right. That's you, Alicia, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
and
I
also I have a
your house, throw something out the window and keep going. Then you'll have to pick it up in gloves and take it. Okay, and then wait 24 hours before you can actually open it. All right, and I can just and I can do that for the girls that live on the Central Coast. I'll just drive past your places, beat my horn, throw things out the window, and then drive off. Otherwise, what I could do is
Deliveries.
Come
Sorry?
down a little bit further, please, to Barara.
No, we're not driving down there. It's outside of my 10 kilometres, Barara.
Oh.
Sorry.
No.
And you're not work. Well, you are work, aren't you? Really? Anyhow, what I'll do is I'll scan in my drawing once I've got everybody else's drawings, and then you can just print it out if you can. Otherwise, if not, don't worry about it. We'll just have to work around it. As long as you're doing the exercises at home and you're giving it a really good go. As I said, you can use your window to help you draw, to use as a light box during the day. And you can trace it off onto bond paper and then just render over your bond paper. That's absolutely fine.
Sorry, Annalise, I have a scanner, but it doesn't work with the A3 size paper. How do you scan something?
Oh, okay. So you only want to scan what you want to print. In this case, I think it's a little bit too big. Just get an A4 sheet of paper for a second. See, it's sort of not going to fit everything in.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be all right with the 1 point perspective, but with this one, you will not be. So what I might do is you can do it in two scans.
Yeah.
But then you've got to put the scans together.
Together.
And I don't know
Okay,
how au fait you are with that. Because you can do it in
Yeah, I think I can do it. I've done it before. Yeah,
Okay,
on
so
Canva.
try-
Yeah.
give it a go. And
Yeah, sure.
you don't actually have to, when you put, sorry, I'll do this one. When you put it into, let's pretend that that A4 sheet there is your scanner thing.
Yeah.
When you put it in, you really don't have to put in the whole of the page. So you can just put in that side, right? So there, and then the next one, put in that side. So you've got a really good overlay, and
Yeah.
then you can link them together. Because
Okay.
if you've got a really good overlay, then that works really well. So you can cut the bit that you don't want off this side and the bit that you don't want off that side, and then
Yes,
give it a go. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I've done that before. It's just a little bit more time consuming. Otherwise, I might scan mine and then put it in. But I won't do that until tomorrow because I want everyone to finish their drawing for me so I can see what you're doing. And then for next week, I'll put this in, and you can all download and print it out if you can. See how you go with that, or trace it off the screen or anything. I know it's a little bit difficult, but I suppose you could put Officeworks is still open, but you know, I don't want you to go out unnecessarily, you know, because it's just too dangerous out there as it is. It's bad enough going to Coles or Woolworths. All right. So, you guys, I put one video up. I'll put another video. I'll put the other video up, and then where is that? There's the other video. I have to. Is no one wanting to come in? Okay. Where is the thing?
No, Jasmine is putting her hand up.
Sorry.
Jasmine is putting her hand up.
Jasmine, what do you want? Caroline's got her hand up. And
Please, can you show me how to, let's say, draw something on the floor like a round shape, please?
like a what?
Round shape.
A round shape?
Yeah. Something, let's say, if I want to put a pot plant on the
pot.
floor.
Okay. Yep. I've got it. Okay.
Yes.
So remember that in perspective,
Huh?
anything that you know that is round,
Mm.
you got to tell me what sort of pot you want. So let me just do this. I'll go back to this one. Okay. I'm going to put a planter here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if I'm going to have a round, is it going to be an oval planter like that, or is it going to be a cylinder? What sort of thing are you going to have? Because you draw them different ways. If it's just round all the way around, as in it looks like a circle, you just draw a circle and then you render it. Yep. Then you render it. Then you do something like that at the top.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can have, I don't know, plant.
All right. What about if it is the, like that, cylinder? Cylinder?
If it was a cylinder, then I'll put the cylinder down here. Then you draw the circle on the ground. Now that doesn't look anything like a circle, it's an ellipse, okay?
Yep.
So what you want to do is you want to touch each center part of that
Yep.
perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then you want to draw a couple of lines up
Yep.
from the side, and then you want to do whatever the height is, you want to do the same thing. Now, that ellipse and that ellipse will look, they won't match, they'll look different. The top one will be slightly smaller, so you would do that, okay? But if you were going to do that, what you could do to begin with is you could draw it as all in a square box like this. So do a square box so it encompasses the overall space that it's going to be in. Do that one on the bottom. Do that one on the top. See how they're slightly different?
Yep.
And then you'll draw a line going from there to there. And then that gives you your cylinder.
Legend. It's a legend.
If you want to make it so that your pot is, and I'll just do another one. It might be worthwhile doing this as a little exercise anyway. So let's just draw up a couple of those. If I wanted to have it so that the pot went from small and then came out,
Yep.
first of all, find out what shape it is, then do a smaller shape on the inside of it. So it looks like it's got the same amount of space around. Do the one at the top here the same way. It'll be a slightly different shape. And then you're going to side and side. And then you've got something that looks like that. Okay.
Love it. Thank you.
So whatever you draw, whether it's round or not, if you put it into the overall space that the object fits in perspective, you can draw anything really.
Okay.
There's a table. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you so much.
That's all right. There's a
Yes. Can I ask something?
yeah. Of course you can.
So if I wanted to draw the curtains that he draw as well, also do it straight away with color instead of doing it with pencil, right?
Yeah, you could. If you were going to do a shear, you could just do it in a coloured pencil.
Yeah, and it's the same with the plants and or the flowers. I can
Yeah, you can do that too. But see how I've left little spaces, so you can erase those little spaces because you just need a little bit of you can just, like I did with this one, I just erased.
Yeah.
So it sort of looked a bit like that, because if I decide to have one of those fluffy rugs, then I'm not going to see a straight line going all the way through everything.
Yeah.
But if I use what's this technique I'm using, everybody? Scribble. Yes, excellent. Well done. You're all on the ball. Okay, so I'm going to do a fluffy rug. I'll do that, and then that way I can come out with little bits and pieces. See how that makes it look like it's a fluffy rug? So you can do it that way too. But I think what we'll do is we'll render these next week. I think that might be a good idea for that one. Right, on that one there and that one there. And I've got two more. I'm going to make a note of that. I've got two more videos to upload so that you can see. Stop recording, shall I? That's a good idea. Oh no, I just turned myself off. Let's not do that. Let's just stop recording. Stop